Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of JUPodcast. Today, we have such personality with us. He has a great experience in both corporate and public service sector. His expertise spanning over the tech and innovation field. He's the first mission director of Atal Innovation Mission. We have R.Ramanathan sir with us. Sir, it's our honor to have you in Jaipur and JCS University. Uh, let's start with your experience throughout switching from corporate to a government sector. How it's like to switch from working 30 years as a CEO and then switching to government job. How it's like.
Yeah, thank you, Vedansh, for your giving me the opportunity to share a few thoughts on my journey as well as what is happening in the country in the world of innovation and entrepreneurship. As you rightly said, I graduated from IIT Bombay and joined Tata Consultancy Services in 1981. And TCS was an entrepreneurial organization even at that time. We had less than 1,000 people in the organization. So I was very fortunate to be part of the growth journey of TCS. And TCS has expanded multifold, and today it is one of the largest IT
Now
consulting
it
and
has 3,000 to 4,000.
700,000, close to 700,000 people.
That's too.
Yeah. So it has grown, but more importantly, I think what the journey at TCS taught me was quite a few things. One is how do you have a global vision? The vision of TCS was to be among the global top 10 by 2010, and they did achieve that. And that was because that dream was embraced by a whole lot of people within the organization. So it showed me the power of working together, the power of collaboration, the power of having a very powerful dream and a vision that drives the rest of the organization forward and for everybody to contribute. And also the fact that they were ready to take risks in multiple geographies, very innovative in how software delivery was done. They developed global delivery networks. And so all of this was a tremendous learning experience, both in terms of how do we approach international markets, how do we deal with world class customers, customers who are in the Fortune 100, and how do you ensure that they experience the same quality of service that they get from any other company across the world. Then there was this opportunity for me to lead CMC. CMC was acquired by the Tata Group in 2001, and I got the opportunity. I was asked to lead this company as its MD and CEO. And CMC was a Navaratna organization of the government of India, which meant it was one of the leading public sector organizations of the country. It was an IT services organization servicing government clients across the nation. And it was a very innovative company. Those of you who are not aware, CMC developed the railway reservation system,
Okay.
passenger railway reservation system for Indian Railways. They developed the computerization of the Bombay Stock Exchange. CDSL, which is the central depository, was computerized by them. They computerized a number of ports.
So CMC is the reason for all the digitalization which
Yeah, the initial reason for major digitalization in this country. And that gave me an exposure of what it takes to leverage software and leverage IT for societal needs. All of these projects were massive social engineering projects. It required leveraging IT for servicing the common man's needs. And that gave me a great appreciation for that. And until 2016, it ran as an independent organization as a subsidiary of TCS. And in 2016, it got merged into TCS and got amalgamated. And that is when the Atal Innovation Mission opportunity came. The government was looking out for somebody who would be having experience both in the private sector as well as public sector. And fortunately, I seemed to fit in that particular criteria of they were looking for. And so I got the opportunity to lead Atal Innovation Mission, which is the brainchild of the Honorable Prime Minister of our country. And the mission was very simple and focused. One is how do you create a problem solving, innovative culture in the young students who are graduating out from our schools and colleges and entering into the industry. And we are a very young country. We have an advantage of a demographic dividend. So 65% of our country is under 35 years old. 50% of our country is under 25 years old. So how do you leverage this enormous energy, that is their youthful energy, and transform it into something that can create a positive impact on the nation. And the Prime Minister's vision was that we have to become a nation of job creators, not just job seekers. And so, to therefore give boost to the startup movement in our country. And the second part was, how do you establish an ecosystem that will support innovation? It's not enough to just create the mindset, but it's also required to support it. And that's how a whole lot of ecosystem uh, setting up happens.
I would like to thank you for giving us Atal labs and these things in our school. My grade years of 8th and ninth went into that lab and tinkering. So I'll thank you from my side personally.
Yeah, and taking up that, I'm very happy I'm meeting somebody who has actually used a lab, because there are about 10,000 tinkering labs in India right now. And this is a great opportunity for young students from grade 6 to grade 12 to work with the latest of technologies: 3D printing, robotics, IoT, miniaturized electronics, or AR, VR. And these are do it yourself kits. And really, it inducts somebody in the world of problem solving, tinkering, and innovation.
True, it taught us a lot of things about how craftsmanship and AI works.
Exactly.
Uh, how does you see what's your current outlook for the startup ecosystem in Rajasthan? Because as I see it, it's still a budding startup ecosystem, but it's still somewhere. So, what's your outlook for it?
I do believe Rajasthan has tremendous opportunities for boosting the startup ecosystem. They've already been doing quite well. From what I know, there are more than 5,000 startups in Rajasthan. There are about 18 or 19 incubation centers, couple of Atal incubation centers, and you have two universities who are women-led universities and who are having incubation centers, which is great. Also, what I find, which is not observable in many other parts of the country, is out of the 5,000 plus startups, I believe there are more than 2,300 startups which are women-led startups.
True.
And that's an amazing percentage of women entrepreneurship that you see in Rajasthan. Nationally, we have only about 16 to 18% entrepreneurs as women. So when you have almost a 50% ratio, that's very encouraging to see. Now, the opportunities for Rajasthan are many, because one, this is a mineral rich as well as a handicraft rich place. People have tremendous skills which are in demand in the rest of the world and also in India. And whether it is in textiles, apparel, whether it is in jewelry, whether it is in handicrafts and paintings and sculptures and all of that, this is something that has great demand all over the world. And we have to see how we can leverage this local talent and give them an opportunity to export their products and services to the rest of the country and to the rest of the world. The second is, you have very good universities. The university ecosystem is excellent. You have more than 300 universities, colleges, and so on.
I say we are second largest state in numbers of university.
Yeah. You have 300 management schools, as I understand, and 150 engineering schools, and about 88 or 90 private universities. Now, you know that there are about 900 incubation centers in India. But really, from my point of view, every world class university should have a world class incubator. And every university should aspire to become a world class university. And the reason is, India has tremendous talent. Our student talent is enormous. I mean, we have had uh, Abdul Kalam come from Rameshwaram. You have, Ramanathan come from Kumbakonam. So all our remote areas, tier 2, tier 3 cities are flush with people who have talent. But if they get an opportunity to incubate their startup and express their imagination into an innovation, uh, and we create that ecosystem, that will have a tremendous dividend for that particular state and for that particular city. I really think that this is what one should capitalize on, and the JCRC is a great example of a world class incubation center being set up, and how students are getting, I understand 75 startups are graduated from here, and they have about 37 startups today. And that sort of environment needs to be created across the rest of the state.
What are the three or four factors which create a startup ecosystem more developed? Like how we can reach beyond the part of Bangalore and Delhi startup ecosystem, how we can reach the like I see Silicon Valley as in a startup ecosystem itself. So how we can reach the level of Silicon Valley or surpass it? What are the three or two factors of it?
I think uh, the three most important factors from my point of view would be one is collaboration. You have to collaborate. If you see Silicon Valley companies, there's a lot of collaboration happening between the universities, academia, the government, and so on, and industry. And so when you foster such collaboration, then a lot of ideas come in, a lot of support comes in, and you also understand market demands, you understand market challenges, and you have partnerships with potential customers of your startup and your product. Uh, so collaboration is one very important thing. The second is creating, research capabilities, applied research capabilities. So universities should focus on what is the research that they are doing and they can do, which has an applied component, and make sure that that applied research transforms itself into a innovation or a product and commercialization of that innovation. The third thing, which is very important, is a mentor network, because we are dealing with emerging technologies. We are dealing with AI, sensor technologies. We are dealing with AR, VR, and cloud technology, which are changing rapidly. And so it is often difficult for universities or even schools to keep pace with the changes that are happening in the industry. And so an industry mentor network can help greatly the success of startups and also feed ideas. Um, Clearly, a strong combination of academia, government, local industry, and research institutions, if they work together, you're going to have that positive impact of a startup revolution.
Okay. What are the key differences? Like, as I see, India has four startup major ecosystems: Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, and then somewhere Kolkata lies around. So these four major startup ecosystems have, what are the key differences that Rajasthan has from them? On each of them has a key differences. What are them that you personally observe?
The key difference are the challenges that are there in each of these spaces. At the end of the day, innovation is all about solving problems that are not been solved before, or that have been solved some up to date. And the challenges of Rajasthan, the tier 2, tier 3 cities of Rajasthan, the opportunities, the local capability and the talent that exists, how do you harness them? And those are very different from that of Bangalore or Mumbai or Chennai, right? So Mumbai is a commercial capital of India, and so there is a huge focus on fintech and so on. If you look at Chennai, there is a lot of manufacturing companies, so there is a lot of focus on automobile industry and other industries. If you look at Bangalore, it is more of tech companies, and many foreign tech companies have come. So there is a lot of tech-based startups which are there. Rajasthan should see how the challenges and the requirements of Rajasthan and the surrounding states are being addressed. And I believe very strongly that every state in India has its unique set of challenges, and therefore a unique set of entrepreneurial opportunities for the startups to address, and that can get replicated across multiple locations.
So it's a question that I personally hold because it's a question of my subject matter as a public administration student. What are the government policies that other startup ecosystems took advantages of, and Rajasthan and Jaipur startup ecosystem should look forward to take advantage of to become the level of Bangalore and Mumbai and Chennai in the matter of ecosystem?
So the difference that I see is some of these ecosystems like Chennai and Bangalore and Hyderabad, they have very quickly followed up on central schemes, whether it is Atal Innovation Mission or DBT, DST. You see the maximum number of applications for opening up an incubator or availing themselves of a startup fund comes from these places. So my belief is that one, the state has to be very proactive, and the universities in a particular state have to be very proactive in understanding what are the various schemes that both at the central level and at the state level they are there, and avail themselves of. Because it is, I know for a fact that both central and state government scheme, or particularly central schemes, are very interested in tier 2, tier 3 city development. Uh, For example, Atal Community Innovation Centers are being set up in tier 2, tier 3 cities. Most of the Atal incubation centers, 70% of them are in tier 2, tier 3 cities. So, what I think is awareness building is very important at a state level. That these are the various schemes that you can avail of to start off with every college, and you also should have a hub and spoke arrangement. I think there are some very good incubators in this area, and so how do you tie them up with the others who want to set up an incubator and enable that discussion and sharing of best practice, and that will help the growth of the ecosystem. Um, One more thing I feel is the challenges uh, that place like Rajasthan can address. I mean, there are border states, so there are defense related challenges, there are space related challenges that they can address. There are climate change and sustainability related challenges they can address. Construction, mining, and so on, they are very important industries here. And of course, the handicraft industry, agri tech, um, water management. So, there are many areas that are ripe for innovation and scream for innovation. And I think colleges and universities should collect these challenges in discussion with ministries and present it to the potential innovators and tell them that you should address this.
Okay. Where is Rajasthan currently, you see, leading the torch? Because somewhere I see Mumbai is leading the financial and commercial torch for India. Most of the trade is coming from there. Bangalore is leading the technological evolution of India. Where is Rajasthan taking up the torch? Because as I was researching, I saw that we are in the agriculture business, we are in the mining business. So we have diversification of the business, but where do we, the government, the central government, look at us leading?
So I think one very obvious place is tourism. Rajasthan, almost everybody who comes from anywhere from abroad, they want to visit Rajasthan. Palace on Wheels is one of the most popular, uh, you know, things that people look for. So, how do you develop and boost the tourism industry, which is a fantastic opportunity? And today we have technology that can enable people to have virtual experiences of various places and thereby want to come and visit here. And you can use AR, VR technologies. Mining and handicrafts industry are very, sculpting, painting, and so on. These are all, Rajasthan is known for its art, for its, sculptures, for its marble and granite and all of that stuff. So these are industries where there can be innovation and the ability through e-commerce to be able to penetrate global markets is very, very strong. And I also think that there is a tremendous opportunity in areas like defense and space technologies and satellite technologies because you have testing grounds here which can be leveraged for all of that.
Okay, let's move away from little bit of startup talks. Let's talk about what was the day one of your Atal Innovation Mission as its director was like. How was the day one? How it looked like?
Oh, it was very exciting. The On the first day, I met Mr. Amitabh Kant, who was the CEO of BTIO, and I also met Mr. Arvind Panitgraha, who was at that time the vice chairman of Niti Aayog. And so they gave me uh, they painted the vision of what they would like Atal Innovation Mission to be. Uh, I started off with 4 persons. There was a team of 4 persons whom I started working with as the mission director. And first thing was really to drop a plan. And on day one, more importantly, to find a place for me to work in the Riti Ayog. It's a huge place, but it was one of the big revelations for me. Niti Ayog was a beehive of activity when I was there, and he had young professionals who were working in Niti Ayog and so on. So it almost felt like I was entering into a startup campus. Another innovation mission by itself was a startup initiative. True, because with only 4 of us, we started this initiative.
It is a start, yeah, of it.
So very exciting. I came from a corporate world where we had thousands of people who were working for me, and suddenly now you find 4 people working with me, and so I was very excited with the challenge. And I have to say, I got great support in Niti Aayog from all the people there. They welcomed me and they were very supportive. And I really felt excited on day one.
Uh, like, of course, this is an obvious question. How much proud you are of that mission as you sow the seed of it?
Oh, I'm very proud of my association with Atal Innovation Mission. More importantly, I'm very grateful for my association. I really think that initiative is something that I'm now carrying on forward in a different manner. I'm very actively associated with the startup movement, the incubators. I'm also serving on some of the government ministry boards and committees. Uh, the Atal Innovation Mission, from my point of view, started a revolution in making aware of the possibilities of innovation, entrepreneurship, problem solving. And I think it unleashed a movement across the country. Today, I have several schools who are setting up tinkering labs on their own, not waiting for a government to set it up, or they are doing it along with private sector. Number of universities are setting up incubators on their own. For example, you set up your own incubator here in JCRC without starting with a government grant. And I think that is so exciting and that is so contagious because when you see a neighboring university setting up today, for example, the interaction that was facilitated here between 15, 16 colleges and JCRC, to see how they can all learn from each other and set up a world class incubation center. That is the sort of thing that we were hoping will happen on its own, and that is happening. So I feel incredibly fortunate to have been a part of our innovation mission, and I feel incredibly happy to continue being part of the innovation initiatives of this country.
We would also like, as in citizens, to you to be stay connected with it. Uh, how does you see? Because rather than we see the CEOs and the big positions of the companies are gradually taken up by the graduates from ISB, IITs, and IIM, or some from Wharton and other schools. How do you see the tier two cities or the tier two cities, colleges, and universities should grow in that manner to be like that? Although a legacy of institution matters, but as an IIT Bombay graduate, you know what they do better and what we can do better.
So, um, actually, there is, as I was traveling around the country, looking at universities and infrastructure they have set up, some of them have set up world class infrastructure, but they also need um, their professors and teachers and faculty to be indoctrinated into a new way of thinking, where academia plays a very important role in entrepreneurship and in innovation. And I think we still have some ways to go. What happens is in an IIT or an ISB, which is all often located in one of the tier one cities, you have a lot of surrounding ecosystem that supports faculty training, collaborations with industry, and so on. Uh, when you have an institution in tier two or tier three cities, there are a few industries in and around that place. And so that opportunity to interact with industry or interact with other universities becomes that much lesser. So, what we need to do is extend this collaboration network in a big way. And I think all the DST incubation network or the DBD incubation network, they're all vehicles for such collaboration. I also think that there's a lot of awareness training that needs to be done for at the university level, and faculty should see and the management should see the importance of innovation incubation in the student of the future. And the student of the future has to be future ready, future skills ready, innovation ready, and entrepreneurial ready. Because even if they are joining an organization as a job seeker, that company is going to expect an innovative entrepreneurial mindset in the person that they are hiring. And therefore, this uh, the way that we look at education has to change from just being rote learning or grades and placement to how do you create the problem solver of the future, the entrepreneur of the future, or the job creator of the future. And if you have that perspective, it brings a lot of radical change in the way you administer the workings of a university and the creation of a supportive ecosystem.
Indeed. And what are the hurdles that this state, particularly in Rajasthan, is facing right now? Because recently we had a summit, Rising Rajasthan, where we attracted foreign investment. What are the future hurdles that you see that we are going to face now after all this?
And the hurdles are common. There. I don't think it's a state level hurdle or it is anything peculiar to a particular state. The hurdles or the challenges that need to be overcome is how do I ensure do I have a plan? And do I have the yearning to set up a innovation lab or an incubation center and to support startups? And I think today you have a whole lot of information available, best practices available, seminars are being conducted, webinars are being conducted. So you have access to all this information. I do think all that is required is a will and a management commitment. If a management commitment at the university level, at the vice chancellor level, and so on, then that helps you in boosting up the ecosystem. The second is we have to be very flexible. You want to have a CEO at an incubator, you need a dedicated CEO. You need to make sure that you are attracting the best possible CEOs so that that incubator can succeed. Because that investment in that one good CEO can result in couple of unicorns coming out of your information system.
Indeed.
And so sometimes we are penny wise pound foolish, and we should not be that. And we should ensure that world class talent is inducted and created. Right. So I don't think the challenges are anything peculiar to Rajasthan, and and I think they have been doing well. So it's just that we now can go to the next level.
Indeed. What are the key takeaways? Because this is the last question. What are the key takeaways that you would like to give us? Like in 5 points, what are the takeaways for a startup which is going to start in tomorrow or which is working right now as a startup? The founders look for.
So the key takeaways lie in the word startup. The S in the startup looks stands for solution. Are you creating a unique solution? A solution that is scalable, a solution that is sustainable, and a solution that has not been developed before for a problem that has been not been solved or solved suboptimally. So that means you have to do research. The very first idea that strikes you doesn't mean it's a great solution. You have to see whether the solution is unique. The T stands for technology. How are you leveraging technology very effectively in your startup? Now, the startup itself may not be technology based startup, but it leverages technology for the purposes of its growth, whether it is marketing, communications, social media, etc., website. All of these become very important in today's world. The A stands for agility. You may have the ability, you are having the mindset, but do you have the agility? That agility is being provided by latching on to an incubation ecosystem or an incubator or an accelerator and so on. And then do you have an action plan? That action plan has to be monitored and executed on a continuous basis and course corrected as is necessary. So, ability combined with agility and an action plan will help in the achievement of the objective of the SADA. The R stands for re-engineering. You know, very often your product will not succeed in its first go. So, you have to reiterate, you have to re-engineer. Look at the iPhone. You are in the 16th version of iPhone. I've been continuously re-engineering, reiterating to create one of the biggest selling products of our times. The U stands for university utilization. In a startup world, utilization of your resources and the resources available to you is very, very important. So, how well are you utilizing them? How well are you utilizing the funds that you get? How well are you utilizing this environment of this incubator where you are in? How well are you utilizing the university resources, academia, and so on? So that utilization plays a very important role in the growth of the startup. The P stands for persistence and passion. You have to have passion if you want your startup to succeed, but more importantly, you need persistence. There is Abdul Kalam said that the word fail is first attempt in learning. And so there is never a failure in a startup world. There is only a first attempt in learning. And finally, the S in the startup stands for societal impact. Is your startup making some societal impact? So look at the word startups and you have the key takeaways there.
Okay, that's something of a new that I found out today, and I think so the viewers will find out too. Thank you, sir, for coming on this podcast. It was an honor and key insightful talks that everyone here took away. And thank you. We can proceed with a group photograph that we have.
Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to share a few thoughts and all the very best.
Thank you, sir. Thanks.